Hey everybody, this is an autumn wind quarterfinal playoff broadcast between the number 2 seed Los Angeles Rams and the number 3 seed Dallas Cowboys. Both teams, I believe, about 13 and 3. No, both teams went 12 and 4. No, 13 and 3. The Rams were 13 and 3. The Cowboys were 12 and 4. Pulling up the stats now. And the game is just underway. So whoever wins here will face my team, the Seattle Seahawks, who was the number 1 seed. Let's see, 2020 autumn wind. Yeah, so the Cowboys, I stand corrected. Both teams were 13 and 3. The Rams were the number 2 seed based on their better conference record against Dallas. Dallas has the good, excellent defense, good against the run, excellent against the pass, and the Rams are good, good. Both teams play a 3-4. And we are underway. Mark Ingram is the main back, and there's an inside run to Ingram against the run call, so guessed right, but nobody's in the zone. It's going to pick up 4. 2nd and 6. Breeze is, of course, an excellent flat passer. So he's got great flat, short, even long columns. He's a really, really nice weapon in this set. Cole Beasley's one receiver. DJ Chark's the other one. Vernon Davis is the second tight end, and Josh Hill is the first tight end. So you have a good run blocker in Alex Mack and DeMar Dotson. Both are 5s. Andrew Norwell's a 4. Then you have a couple zeros over here, more in there for their pass blocking. And I think he might have some guys that he brings in when it's short yardage situation. Off tackle left to Ingram, another run call. So back-to-back run calls started off for the Rams, and they've held Ingram to 3 yards total. That would have been a 1-yard gain. So either way, the rolls haven't been kind to Mark so far, but it's early, 2 rolls in. So we got David Johnson in the backfield, the 0-4 halfback. It's pretty decent pass blocker. The third wide receiver is Anthony Miller. He actually shifts over to flanker, and Beasley, the normal third wide receiver, the normal flanker in base sets, moves over to third wideout. Josh Hill stays in there. He cannot go deep. It's a sideline right to Anthony Miller. There's a 0 there. 048 Samson Ekubon. And defender +1 or +3. So a nice first series for the Rams on defense. Malcolm Butler makes the play, wraps him up right away, and the Rams will be forced to punt. So 3 guessed correct calls. And the Cowboys failed to get a first down. We got a 6-yard return on the punt by TJ Jones, and the Rams will take over on their own 31. Their offense is led by Patrick Mahomes. We all know about him. He's backed up by the veteran Adrian Peterson. Calvin Ridley's one receiver. Brett Perryman's the other, or Brashad Perryman, excuse me. We got Jeremy Sprinkle and Mike Gesicki. He's in that blocking back. And again, a 3-4 defense, excellent against the pass. Pat Mahomes' specialty is short passing and deep passing. Pitch out right to Adrian Peterson, guessed wrong. Nobody's in the zone. And that'll pick up 6. It's a nice card for Peterson. Even guessed right, he doesn't lose a ton of yardage. He doesn't have any of those -7, -8s. So I think against the excellent pass defense, you might be more likely to run the ball. We got Dave Szymanski joining us. How's it going, Dave?
Wow. Must be an important game.
It must be. You got that comfortable chair there. That looks like one heck of a chair.
It is. It's a king's chair.
Especially if it's like coming up to your head. What are you, 6'5", 6'4"?
6'6".
6'6". Look at that.
Just say you're 6'6".
I heard that. Tell Mary I heard that.
Yeah.
He goes into this long story about losing a quarter of an inch.
Well, I've had broken my back twice. I've had 5 back surgeries, so they're whacking me down to 6'5 1/4", I think.
Dave, it's okay. It's natural that you lose an inch or so as you age. I think I've seen some studies on that. Like, I've lost a little bit myself. I used to be 5'11 3/4, and now I'm lucky if I'm 5'10". So,
Yeah, well,
and I didn't break my back. I didn't break my back in any places.
No,
I'm just
it's
shrinking.
I don't know. It's a little hard to take with the loss of all my athletic skills, and then I can't even lose my natural talents of height. So I've lost it all,
Tell
Dennis.
him what you did just now.
No, I'm not going to tell him that.
You're a gentle giant, so we're good with you. Don't worry.
Thank
That was
you.
a 4-yard pickup. Michaels kept it on the ground, picked up 1 first down. Now he's picked up 4 yards on first down with Benny Snell. So he's got his backup running back. He won't run out of carries if he mixes them up like that. So that's a nice little strategy he's using.
Yes.
Claude went 3 and out on his. Claude got the ball first and went 3 and out, and now Michael's driving out to the 46. Flair left to Gaiseki. He's being correctly double covered by Mark. Nice call there, especially after all those runs. And it's incomplete. Really close to an interception split.
Double teamed it, didn't he?
Yep, he got him double teamed correctly. So it was incomplete, right, wrong, or double.
Yeah,
And it'll be 3rd and 6.
shrewd coach, and usually double teams 2 guys on every play when he calls the pass.
Yeah, he's been moving his guys around. Michael was avoiding anything bad happening by running the ball, but now he's in a 3rd and 6. Mark's got pretty good pass rush here out of Preston Smith at 1 linebacker spot. Donta Hightower is a 6'5", so he can bring the heat a little bit. And the other one is 5'4", Jamie Collins. So his pass rush comes from his linebackers.
That's a lot.
He does have a 4'8" at right defensive end. Curled to Brashad Perryman, throwing against that excellent pass defense. He gets a must run and only picks up 2. Would have been a first down 2 through 8, but he just rolled a little too high. So he'll have to punt it. 45-yard punt down to the 7, and calls for the fair catch. Probably lost track of where he was on the field.
Yeah, I always wondered those guys that call fair catch at the 5, how lame that is.
Well, the 7's right there. If you let it roll, you might get stuck at the 1 or 2. So I can see why you'd want to try to return it there. Or do you mean in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean in the NFL.
Gotcha, yeah. So 1st and 10, Dallas comes out 3 wide, looking to take advantage maybe of those weak linebackers for the Rams. They have a really strong secondary. They got Marlon Humphreys, a 6 cornerback, Malcolm Butler, a 5 cornerback, Quandre Diggs, who they got from Dallas in an offseason trade for Bradley Roby, and Jordan Poyer, who's a 5'5". So 1st and 10, and he responds with a 3-4. So he responds to that 4 wide with a 3-4, or the 3 wide with a 3-4, knowing that Mark might be shooting at the flats. It's a button hook to David Johnson. He stays home and calls pass. Still picks up 6 on Breeze's card. So did you play either one of these teams, Dave?
No, I didn't play the Rams. I think I played Dallas, and lost them. I believe I lost to Dallas.
Yeah, I see the Philadelphia Stars. Yes, 17-10 was the score of that game.
Don't remember much about it, but I played Mark an awful lot.
Yeah, it's tough to get a lot of points or even move the ball against that excellent pass defense.
Yeah, and he's just a really good defensive coach.
Yes, he is. So he comes out in the 2 tight end set. Vernon Davis, who has a nice card, can't go deep, but he has a nice card with a lot of yards on it. I like this card. He's always had a good receiving card. It is a fly to DJ Chark, single cover by a 6. Incomplete. Hit a receiver reading and couldn't find Couldn't find a mark on Chark's card. And that'll be 3rd and 4. So these two teams are feeling each other out. This is starting off like one of those 17-10 type games. 17-10, 17-13. Maybe see more good defense than points in this one.
Yeah, kind of a conservative playoff atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, we're early. It's only 6 minutes into the game, so who knows? I could be totally wrong about things. 3rd and 4, 2 tight end set. Ingram's really good. Guessed wrong and guessed right, but if you get him guessed wrong on the end run, pretty much is going to pick up this first down on everything except 10 and 5 and snake eyes. Both these teams went 13-3 in the regular season. Inside run to Ingram. Guessed wrong. Nobody there to support the nose tackle. And it's a center block, +5 or +2. And Alex Mack's going to make that block 2/3 of the time, but he just misses it this time. 4th and 2, and Dallas will send out Wisnowski.
Yeah, calling those Pollocks to get you out of trouble.
There you go. It's got that booming leg. An 11-yard return, and Los Angeles will have good field position.
It's really cool when Michael's so passionate about this league and doing the announcing when you don't, and him getting in the playoffs now. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's he made that trade to move up to get Mahomes. I think he was at the time. Who was the other quarterback that came into the league at the same time? It was Watson, right?
Yeah, I think so. No, that's
so there's a 3-yard pickup. So he moved up from where he like a kind of in the 10th spot or something like that. He moved up to get into the first or second spot to get Mahomes. I have to look at that. That would have been our workbook 4 years ago. So we got.
That wouldn't be the year I got Camaro, would it?
It might be. Let me look at I'll move it off screen here so we can watch the game. 2nd and 7.
He traded with Tom that I saw Cooks or Camaro sitting there and made a trade for him.
Benny Snell checks in on 2nd and 7. And there's a short gain up by Benny Snell. That guy is sneaky good if you get him guessed wrong.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 at the 34. Coming up to field scoring position here. Field goal range is right around the corner. Sideline right to Ridley. Guessed wrong, and look at that. 2 men in the zone, that would have been a pick. That 12 is a shaky roll unless you get a 6.
Okay, well, let's see if he's going to try to edge a little closer here so it's not 3rd and long.
2nd and 10. He wants to get into field goal range, but he also doesn't want to just settle for a field goal, if you know what I mean. He's got to balance his aggressiveness here. Pitch out right to Damian Williams, who checked into the game for the first time. Blocking back needs to make the block, but he's a 0. Gesicki's a 0, so that play loses a yard. And it'll be 3rd and 11. This is a down where you almost want to run the ball just to make sure you get a good shot at a field goal.
Yeah.
But if the other coach sniffs that out and calls run, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's that old cat and mouse game again.
So he has Damian Williams in there. That tells me he's probably not going to run it because he would have stayed base. Maybe he's going to try to get a short pass on Mahomes' card, take his chances of avoiding the interception splits. And it is a crossing pattern to Russell Gage. He's being single covered, but lands on that D card. What can you do? Let's take a look at his field goal kicker.
Can he reach from there?
He's 2 through 4, 33 to 40. 2 through 9, 23 to 32. So it looks like he's going to punt. I think I might want to just go for it here if I'm going to punch it, but if he can pin him deep, it'll be worth it. And he does, right at the 1.
Oh,
Nice,
yeah.
nice coffin corner.
He would only got 15 yards net yardage, but now he's looking good.
Yeah, good. A good decision in hindsight, for sure.
This is always an interesting situation, what the offensive coach is going to do and how aggressive the defense will be. Tell us something about Michael right here on his aggressive defense. What is he going to do?
Yeah, good point. It's 1st and 10 at the 1. 3 wide.
You got to think if Mark passes, he's going to try to attack those linebackers, and I don't think he'll risk a flat pass. So I would think of covering the inside linebacker spot, if nothing else.
Okay, so here was the trade with Phoenix from the 2018 draft. The Rams gave up the 3rd overall pick, a 4th round pick, actually 2 4th round picks to move up to the 2nd pick and pick back Patrick Mahomes. So Deshaun Watson went 1st overall, Mahomes went 2nd.
Nice move.
I bet you he's happy about that. I bet you Dave wish he would have stood and taken Mr. Mahomes.
Yeah, I think we all have a
Missed the boat on that one. Button hook to David Johnson. It's going to pick up 2, 2nd and 8. Pressure still on. Michael has a couple good defensive ends, I believe. Let's look at that, which can provide some pass rush pressure on their own. See, there's that 4 run blocker I was talking about. He has a 0-5 or a 4-3 at right tackle. He's got the 0-5 in there now. But he's got 1. He's got Joey Bosa, 6'12", up against a 5'4". And then his linebackers just bring average pressure. Nobody 0-4-8 by Ebucon is the biggest guy. Ebucon. 2nd and 8, 2 tight end set now. This is a little bit of a difficult matchup for Mark, because he's got a really tough cornerback on Chark, his best receiver. Square into Beasley. Ebucon's double teaming Beasley, but that won't matter. Picks up 3 on his card, 3rd and 5. Containment is in effect.
with 4:12. Big play here.
4:12 in the first quarter. We're just getting underway. This game's a little bit of a slow pace as both teams really feel the gravity of the situation and do their best to make the perfect call. David Johnson back in the game. He's covered by a 4. Beasley's covered by a 4. Miller and Hill are covered by 5s, and Chark's covered by a 6. 5 free safety there. Square out left to Chark. 4 in the zone. Guessed right. Single covered. Picks up 5 and a first down.
Ooh.
Even double teamed, I think that's a 5-yard pickup. So sometimes it's just nothing you can do about it. You can't. A good quarterback like Breeze is going to hit his spots.
That was huge for Mark.
Still a long way to go. 1st and 10 out at the 11. Quick slant to Hill. 2 men there. Guessed right. Incomplete. So Mark wants to shoot at those 0s and 4s, but he is assuming that Michael's going to move him around and cover other spots, and he's just leaving him home. So twice he's had to look in pass with 2 guys in that zone. But of course, this is, sometimes you do plays like this to set yourself up for bigger plays later on.
True. Yeah, Michael's not overly protecting those linebackers.
Yeah, he hasn't brought his free safety up for that. Off tackle left to Ingram. Guessed wrong. Nobody's in the zone, but it lands on a bad spot on Ingram's card, +1. So 3rd and 9.
Yeah, the second worst spot in his card.
The semi-dreaded 9. All right.
Business hours and holes.
David Johnson's back in there again. Michael hasn't shown blitz yet. I think he's being a little conservative on that, and he could put some pressure on.
Because you could still get the safety. You're still in range of a safety here.
Yeah, but it looks like he's not showing blitz. A straight 3-3-5. Looking maybe to use the double cover to shut down Breeze. Mark will throw a flat pass in this situation if he thinks you're bringing the blitz or double teaming too much. So
Yeah.
that's always a part of the cat and mouse as well. Curl to Chark, covered by a 6. Free safety doubling David Johnson. And it's an 11-yard pickup on Breeze's card, 1st down, Dallas. They're moving the ball. Even double teamed, that would have been complete. But it seems like each play is like, I don't know, rolling a rock uphill. He's getting there, but he's not making big leaps and bounds. Pitch out right to Ingram, as he's guessed right again. And the dreaded 5. Doesn't lose any yards, thankfully. But that'll be 2nd and 10. You know what I mean? Like hit the yards per, like Breeze has completed 5 of 6, but only for 17 yards. Ingram's run 5 times for 6 yards. It's like really tough moving the ball right now.
Yeah.
For both teams.
The bare minimum to pick up the first downs. Yeah, hasn't he gotten 2 first downs now on this drive? And he's at the 23.
Exactly. He started as 1. He's picked up 22 yards. Hitch pass to Chark. There's a 5 in the zone as he brought his free safety down. Guessed right, incomplete on Chark's card. See, that extra linebacker doesn't really help him out too much by himself because the high linebacker will be matched up against the left guard, who's a 7. So on a flat pass, no chance of a sack. Probably on a short pass, maybe a 10, 15% chance of a sack. 3rd and 10 here. 3-3-5 showing blitz. So we had a guessed right run on 1st down, an incomplete pass on 2nd down, and now he's facing 3rd and long again. Slant to Josh Hill. He showed blitz, didn't bring it. He double covered Beasley, and it's incomplete on the D card, and the Cowboys will have to punt. Hey, you know what's changed this year with Mark? As I'm not seeing those recaps anymore. I used to love reading those recaps after each game.
Oh, that's
And
right. He would be pretty religious about those, wouldn't he?
Yeah, man, this year he hasn't done them. I haven't done them either because it doesn't seem like they're as big a part of autumn wind as they are, some of the other leagues. I used to do them, but I would do like my recaps were like, a paragraph at most. Mark really went into depth on his.
Oh, yeah, he went into a dissertation on his state-of-the-art.
Flair left to Gaiseki, and he was correctly double teaming him. I don't know what it is, but there's some scouting done that Michael's throwing flats to Gaiseki, and Mark's been stopping it. 2nd and 12.
Like I said, Mark is really good with a double team. Really good.
How about you, Dave? When you prepare for an opponent, are you looking at their team tendency report for your double teaming, or do you look at the most dangerous cards, the matchups? How are you determining which guys to double?
I look at all of it. All of it.
Off tackle to Peterson. Picks up 5. It'll be 3rd and 7.
And I look for what they do against opponents that look like me. I'm
Got
sure,
it. So whenever they're facing a 6'6" guy with a mustache, then that's the team that you want to imitate.
I know what they're going to do.
No, I hear you. But the guys that if you have a strong flat pass quarterback or guessed wrong running back, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because they obviously adapt to to the offenses. And if you think because they did something against the whole league or against a couple of guys, it might not translate to yours. Very few of these coaches have overall tendencies. They have tendencies against certain offenses, and you have to analyze that. And I cross-check the stats, the overall stats, with the tendencies that I see, and I go back on my past games. I go back to last year, sometimes more than 1 year back.
There is a third down conversion by Mahomes as he also hits the 9 plus 11 on his card. He's looking for Russell Gage, the third wide receiver. There was a small chance for a sack, a 5. The best pass rusher on the line for Dallas, Michael Bennett, is matched up against the best pass blocker for the Rams, Ronnie Stanley. So 1st and 10 out to the 45. Back to a blocking back halfback set. So the Cowboys have struggled to move the ball. The Rams have moved it a little better, but neither team has broken the scoreboard, and it's 0-0 here in this game. The last quarterfinal game of the week, pitch out left to Peterson. Dreaded 5. Gaiseki was double covered again. Maybe he wants to get him off Gaiseki so that he can blitz Jamie Collins. So by double teaming him, he'll stop throwing to him, and then you can free up your linebacker to bring the heat.
That's very interesting. We should look for that. That's an interesting concept, Dennis. If indeed that's what he's doing, because Gaiseki's got a 5 on him, right?
He's got a 5 pass defender, but that guy's also his best pass rusher as a linebacker, a 10 pass rusher. Yeah. There's a 5-yard flat pass to Peterson.
But what you said would be an interesting strategy, and I didn't quite grasp that, but I'm really curious to see if he does do that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he starts bringing some pressure in when he's in the blocking back halfback set. It won't make any difference here. He's going 3 wide with Gaiseki lined up as the tight end in this formation. Look at all the 5s and 6s that Marc has, though. He's got 2 5 cornerbacks, a 5 extra DB, a 6 free safety, 6 middle linebacker, and a 5 outside linebacker. Wow. So everybody here's a 5 or a 6. The poor Preston Smith with his 4-4, 12-6 pass rush is the only non-5 or 6 in the back 7. Actually, on the whole team, there's only 2 4s, Bennett and those 2 guys on the left. On the right.
Ramos's Tampa Bay team, and wow, they had all 5s and 6s on defense.
Another crossing pattern to Gage. Gets to right 4 mid zone against the excellent pass defense card. And he hits the receiver reading. Even though he landed on the D card, he got a kind receiver reading, and Russell Gage comes through.
And you don't
Gage. Go ahead.
I said that you don't often see teams with all 5s and 6s on the team, but Ramos put together quite a defense this year.
Yeah. You mean Marc?
No, I'm talking about.
You mean Ramos? Mike Ramos. Got it. Yes. Yes, they had a very good defense. Inside run to Peterson. It's funny because Mike, when I played him, he's like, it was early in the year, and he had won like the first 2 or 3 games. And he's like, oh yeah, this is all a facade. I'm going to fall apart. The team's like, he went 14-2. He had a really good team.
Mike is a very negative thinker, but he's he puts together really good teams, and that was an amazing team. He just needed a few more receivers, I think.
Well, here we go, 2nd and 8 at the 37. Remember, the field goal kicker for the Rams is not good outside the 33. And his drive stalled at this area last time. He couldn't get into field goal range.
Yeah, he's in the stall zone right now again.
Off tackle left to Snell. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Picks up 4 yards as the blocking back Gaiseki. Again, you're not getting any blocking back readings from him. So 3rd and 4 at the 33. This is the exact yard line that he missed on a 4th down or a 3rd down and decided to punt. instead of going for it, would have been like 4th and 11. So 4th and 4, if he doesn't get any yards here, I think would be a different story. You might see him go for it then.
Yeah, well, he was at the 35 then. The 33 makes a little bit of difference.
Okay. I thought it was a 33. So if you're 35, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I remember it being the 35.
Got it. Blocking back halfback against the 3-4, pitch out right to Peterson, and he hits the short gain on Peterson's card. So no worries about having a 4th down decision. Even guessed right, that would have been 4 yards and a first down. Peterson coming up with a big play. The old man can still do it.
Yeah. Yeah, in the NFL, I was pretty impressed that a guy that old is that much wear and tear on him that he did as well as he did.
Him and Frank Gore are pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So 1st and 10 at the Dallas 22. And you feel good if you're on offense. Screen right to Peterson. His coverage guy is moved, but it's on the quarterback's card for guess 5. It would have been guessed wrong on the receiver card. He brought Preston Smith down to bring some heat. But, I mean, you feel good if you're on offense getting inside the red zone here, but you're always in the back of your mind, you're thinking, gosh, that excellent pass card, that could take it away right, in an instant. You throw a short pass, it lands on 9, or a flat pass with 2 men in zone. So you're still, nothing's easy in this game.
Nope.
We talked about Breeze having a hard time. Mahomes 5 for 8 for only 30 yards. So he's not having he's made a couple clutch throws on 3rd down though. Pitch out left to Peterson. There's a man down there. He's a 4, and he's going to stuff the run for -2 yards. If he had not brought the linebacker, it would have been an 8-yard gain. So 10-yard swing there for Michael, and it'll be 3rd and 7. Goes to his standard Damian Williams in the backfield. Williams has a good flat pass card, guessed wrong. Decent flat pass card, guessed wrong, and he can catch a short pass. He's covered by a 4. That's the only guy covered by a 4. Everybody else covered by a 5 or a 6. He stays out of the shotgun, so he can run to any of the 3 zones. Of course, the white die 1 can make that guess wrong. Off tackle, draw left. He is running. It's going to pick up 4, nose tackle +4 +9. So Corey Peters makes the play, and Randy Bullock will come on from the sideline to try to give the Rams the lead and the first points of this game, as we're halfway through the second quarter before anybody has attempted a field goal. And it's good, 2 through 10. So 3-0 Rams. Now, if you're the Cowboys, you're a little bit okay with this because you're finally starting from the 25 after starting the last drive from the 1 and having to claw your way out. You held them to a field goal. Now it's your turn to see if you can get your offense going.
Yeah, this actually constitutes good field position for Dallas compared to what they've had.
Exactly. So they stay with the 2 tight end set with Ingram. Slant to Vernon Davis, covered by a 4. 11-yard completion. You see that card I was talking about. You have that +48 on Snake Eyes, a lot of yardage, a lot of 14, 15, 13, 12 yards on those short passes. He can't go deep, but it's a fun card to have there.
He's had
as a second tight end.
Cards through the years.
Yeah, this is one of his weaker cards, and it's still pretty good. Off tackle left to Ingram, called correctly. Still going to get 7 yards, though, thanks to the block by DeMar Dotson. So Dallas, each time they've had the ball, they've had to punt, This is the furthest up the field they've advanced. They ended their first drive at the 29, then the 15, then the 23. Now they're out to the 43. So looks like they got their offense in gear finally. As they near midfield, pitch out right to Ingram, another guest right run call. It's going to lose 3. So instead of an easy pickup on third down or already getting the first down, that, as a matter of fact, I think 12 is a long gain, guessed wrong. So, man, Michael Reeves has been on top of it with his play call so far.
He's been calling
3rd
a
and
lot
6.
of runs.
Yeah, and he's been calling a lot of run when Mark's running it, which is that's pretty intuitive. You got Ingram there, 7 runs for 10 yards. You got to feel great about that because you've got him down to like 15, 16 unfatigued carries, and he hasn't done any damage yet. Hasn't even gotten a short gain, I don't think. Screen right to David Johnson. 0 linebacker there. Guessed right. It's going to hit a snake eyes on Breeze's card. So they'll be forced to punt again. So 4 drives, 4 punts. Just not getting the good roll so far. The good news is they're only down 3. And that drive, at least it flipped the field there for them. So now the Rams will have to get a taste of what it's like to start deep in their own end.
Gives them a chance to run a lot of clock and maybe get another score and leave Cowboys a little on the clock.
Yeah, and the Rams will get the ball first in the second half. So he goes with Damian Williams in the blocking back halfback, looking to conserve Adrian Peterson carries. Pitch out right to Williams. Defense double teaming 2 outside guys. That's going to pick up 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Williams is also a minimum fumbler, so yeah, that's one less thing to worry about. When you're worrying about all those picks on the D card, it's nice to have an option you can run it with consistently and not worry about them fumbling it as well.
I heard you and Nathan talking about where do you find the fumble numbers at?
Well, they're not listed anywhere, but when you play the game, look at right here. Run fumble check, Damian Williams, 3.0 versus 325. So the lowest you can have as a running back is 3 guessed wrong, and that would also be 6 guessed right, and I think like 9 or 12 keyed. And that's out of 1,000. So in order for him to fumble, guessed right or guessed wrong, he'd have to get a 1, 2, or 3 on a random 1 to 1,000.
But that's the only place you can find
Number.
it out is on the play description. You can't find it anywhere in the game.
No, I mean the ratings disc will have the number of their fumbles, but it doesn't tell you. And they use that as a calculation for the fumble number, so you can usually tell who the minimum fumbles are. There's a guessed right run for no yards as Mark switches it up with a good run call, but there's no place. It's not like you go on their card and it suddenly says somewhere on here what their fumble rating is. It tells you how many fumbles they have. Like Peterson had 3 fumbles and 211 attempts.
Yeah.
So watch if he runs the ball here, you'll be able to see what his numbers are. His are not minimum, but they're not very much. That's still not a lot of fumbles. Slant to Jeremy Sprinkle, and there's a sack. DeMarcus Lawrence comes in and brings him down. That'll make it 3rd and 15.
That's a tough.
We got Nathan. We got Nathan in here now.
All right, we got somebody smart. Good.
How did your Battle Royale game go?
It was going well, and then he gave up a 50-yard run touchdown, and on the very next play he got a 74-yard touchdown, and on the very next play he had a double-teamed 59-yard catch and scored, and then on my next play I fumbled it, and he scored. So I got
oh my goodness,
destroyed in the 3rd quarter.
And that was against Washington, or who were you
Yeah,
playing?
I was playing Washington.
Wow.
I was up 13-3, I think, and I shanked a 2 through 10 field goal, and then in the 3rd quarter I just got annihilated.
Who was making those big plays for him? Running back?
Eric Henry got the 2 touchdowns, and then I double teamed Gallup, and it went on the D card short pass. It rolled the long gain on the 3-minute zone.
Wow. So, yeah, your team's what 2-4 now?
Yeah.
It's still time to turn it around, and you haven't played many of the new coaches
I'm
yet.
having a hard
So,
time. I'm not scoring enough. And then obviously a game like that's not helping.
yeah, you'll figure it out. So here, the game here is 3-0 Rams. Dallas has punted on each of their first 4 possessions, but a few of them they've started deep in their own end. Now they've kind of flipped the field a little bit. So this will be their 5th possession. They're starting at their own 39, and we got 2:42 to go in the half. And the Rams will get the ball first in the second half. So as you expected, it's been a low-scoring game. Michael's been making some really good defensive calls, calling run at the right time. Well, here's a guessed wrong run. Maybe finally Ingram can get some yards. No, he only gets 3. So as you can see, Ingram's got 8 runs for 13 yards today. So he's struggling.
Yeah,
But a lot of that is because Michael's been calling run at the right time.
sure.
So 2:06 to go. The Cowboys will be tickled pink if they can go down and well, they'll be tickled some other color if they go down and get a field goal. But if they go down and get a touchdown and take the lead at halftime, when really they've been outrolled and outcoached so far, they'll be happy about that too. There's a 6-yard flat pass guessed right. Package. So 3rd and 1. They go to a full house. Ingram, David Johnson, and Vernon Davis are in the backfield. Josh Hill and DJ Chark are the other targets. Two minutes to go in the half. Short to Vernon Davis. Guessed wrong. And look at that Breeze card guessed wrong. That is like shooting fish in a barrel. Why would you ever want to shoot a fish in a barrel? Wouldn't you rather just get a net? That's a strange saying.
You might not be able to put the net in the barrel.
Anyway, he got 13 yards, and it's 1st and 10 at the Rams 39. First time the Cowboys have been in Los Angeles territory, and they like that full house formation so much they're going to stick with it.
Nathan, it sounds like you used the same dice today as you did in the second half against me.
Tackle left to Ingram. Guessed wrong. Nobody's there. And DeMar Dotson makes the block. His run rating boosted up to a 6. It'll be 2nd and 3. The Rams used the timeout. Interesting. Trying to get the ball back before the half. But you don't know where this drive's going to end.
Yeah, that's true. It's
With Cowboys. It's not like they're facing 3rd and long or something. Inside run to Ingram. Guessed right. 9-yard pickup. So Mark's liking this formation change. You've done this before too.
Run. He's got to put a guy.
You go for a while and use full house as your main formation. Do you do that to shake things up, or because you got a feel, or what?
Well, he's got to put one of his linebackers on the line. That he's already going to have 2 minutes on there. He's got to put a guy up there when he says run or pass.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
You put that 4 on the line, you'll have 2 minute zone to every single zone on the flat anyway.
You're right about that.
I mean, what would it have done there? Maybe nothing, but
No, it would have been a little bit better. There's a short pass, guessed right. It's going to be an 11-yard pickup, and he's down to the 12-yard line. Let's see if the Rams use another timeout.
you know he's either going to throw a short pass or he's going to run it. So, I mean,
Right.
you could just full out blitz everyone, put them in the zones and call pass. You could call run and put a couple guys on the line. You're always going to have coverage.
But why do you, as an offensive coach, go to a full house formation when you're not inside the 10? What's your thinking there?
For me,
Yeah.
I do it against some teams. Like I've got Patrick Mahomes, and that's with like Saquon Barkley and Marlon Mack, who are just great pounders. I'm not sure why with David Johnson. I mean, I guess he thinks that Breeze is so good short that it's one of those really good guessed wrong if you can get it guessed wrong.
Guessed wrong there, and Eddie Goldman, who's a 5, can't make the play against the white die 6. So it'll be 2nd and 1 at the 3. and it's looking like Mark's about to be tickled pink as the Rams use another timeout. I think too. Also, if you use a formation against a coach and he doesn't respond the way you think
That's
he
what I
should,
was just about
maybe-
to say. Sometimes
maybe
you
that's another
put
reason.
formation out there to see how they react. Sometimes
'cause
you react in a way you totally didn't expect, and you're like, "Oh, I'll do this all day now."
Right. Especially with like some new coaches, if you go like 3 wide and they come out with a 3-2-6 or a 4-2-5
You're
and leave
playing
it.
a 4-3 with a 0 middle linebacker. It's just like,
Right. Off tackle left to Ingram. He's keying David Johnson, and it's going to be a touchdown. 9 on the defensive Car's 2-minute zone, but it was the offensive onside end, DJ Chark, the wide receiver, coming down with a crack back block to seal the edge and allow Mark Ingram to take it in from the outside. And just like that, the game is turned around from a 3-0 Rams lead. It's now 7-3 Cowboys. That used to be the game growing up. Guys, remember on Channel 11, or not even Channel 11, even before, I don't know who had the NFC before Fox took it, but Rams against the Cowboys in the 80s, that was a fun game to watch.
Yes, it was.
I'm not as old as you guys, so I didn't watch as much.
Who was the network before Fox took over the NFC, Dave? Do you remember? Was it NBC?
Yeah, no, it was NBC and CBS.
Oh, no. It was CBS. CBS had the NFC, and NBC had the AFC.
Yes.
And then later on, when Fox came in, CBS switched to their conference, to the AFC. There's a screen left to Williams, as he's got 30 seconds left, trying to move the ball down on an excellent pass defense. This is when you want to have one of those Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry type halfbacks where you can hit an edge and get like 50 yards in an instant.
He didn't call his timeout.
So he's going to take a knee here then. Figure that discretion is the better part of valor, as he doesn't want to risk the turnover.
I would say maybe he was worried about the pick on the P card.
Yeah. Oh, he still runs it.
Before ESPN,
Oh, yeah. Damian Williams does have that big hit on too. Go ahead.
Before ESPN came in, Dennis, Monday Night Football was ABC, and
Yep.
then the CBS was the NFC, and the NBC was the AFC. Back in the day when the American Football League first came in, they were on NBC.
Got it. That makes sense.
What does the offense look like for the Rams here?
All right, let's take a look at the box score. Good idea. The Rams have been moving it. They had one drive that stalled at the 35, and they punted down to the thing. But you can see both teams are struggling to move it. They both have about 100 yards, 7 first downs for Dallas, 6 first downs for the Rams. I got the impression that the Rams were moving a little bit better than that, but maybe they just had better field position.
7 for 10 on his passes.
He's just not passing it as much. Both of them are throwing a lot of flat passes.
I was going to say, it looks like he's throwing flats.
Yeah, they're really dinking and dunking.
I mean, Mahomes might be better short pass, even if you can, even against the rough defender ratings. He's a lot better short than he is flat in this set.
Absolutely, yeah. You want to play to your strengths, not just worry about the opponent's strengths.
What are his receivers for the Rams here?
The Rams, they have Russell Gage, Mike Gesicki, who he double-teamed correctly twice. He also has Rashad Perryman.
Ridley's good.
Yeah, his 3 receivers, Gage, Ridley, and Perryman, are in there 3 wide. But Ridley and Perryman are both really good choices, especially Perryman with the yardage. Well, I guess he's not that good in this set. Next year he'll be better. But Ridley's got some nice.
Well, that's the thing with those
He's
excellent
nice.
cards is there's a few more receiver ratings on there. And when you got Mahomes and pretty good receiver short, I mean, you kind of just have to throw short a lot.
Right.
I mean, because are you really, when you dink and dunk against a dominant team, yeah, you avoid the turnovers a little bit, but it's really hard to put 2 completions or completion and a good run against them every single time you're driving, and every time you move the sticks.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's what Michael's been experiencing. He's made some good calls on defense, but on offense, he just hasn't been able to get any chunk plays either.
Yeah, you get that 5-yard, 6-yard pass, but then it's pretty easy to get shut down on the next one. Whereas with the short pass, while you are risking, the turnover, you're at least going to be completed. You're getting a first down.
Right. That's an excellent point.
Not that you don't want to mix it in if he's doing too much doubling or leaving zones open or whatever.
But like Dave pointed out, Mark has a tendency to double two guys, leave one with a free safety, one with an outside linebacker, and leave one linebacker in each flat zone. So unless you get the white die 6, you're not getting a first down on a flat pass, or if you roll the short gain on Mahomes' card.
Well, yeah. What are? So he's got Gesicki. Is that a blocking back?
Yeah, 0-0 blocking back.
And that's a decent card. Let me pull his team up here. I got mine. One of the great things about throwing your blocking back, if they're any good, is they can't just sit there and double team 2 guys all the time.
Right. Well, he's sniffed that out, and on 2 flat passes, he's double teamed him correctly. So we'll see if he switches it up here on on offense.
Yeah, that's a good point. You saw what Mark was doing the first half, and you got to see, are you going to do something different? Or are you going to just try to use the same whatever game plan you had going in?
Yeah, you got to adjust for sure. I haven't seen any of this, but.
So there he goes, double teaming Gesicki again. Guessed wrong run for 5 yards, 2nd and 5. Yeah, you get so worried about the excellent pass defense, but you got to remember that he also has a good run defense out of a 3-4. So it's going to be tough to move the ball on the ground consistently with a 5-5-6 up front. Sideline right to Ridley. The outside linebacker correctly doubled him, but the zone was empty, so a nice flat pass card there. That's the time to call the flat pass when you get an open zone. And it's Mahomes out to the 43. So let's see if they can get some momentum going and go down and find the end zone. Every lead change in a playoff game is a big swing, a big emotional swing too. Ooh, it's a fly to Perryman. Guessed wrong against. It's a long gain, 62 yards. That's a touchdown, folks. Right. So he's finally lured him into calling run with all those first down runs. Went up top. Patrick Mahomes guessed right, guessed wrong. That's a long gain.
That's just guessed right. If he's going to keep doubling Ridley all over, I mean, I like taking those shots, especially the more dominant defense. You need big plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
First bomb he's thrown, Dennis.
That is. So first time he's went deep, he got 0 men in the zone, and he got guessed wrong. So Michael was slow playing it, doing a little rope-a-dope, whatever you want to say.
Right back, guys. I got a carpet guy here.
All right.
Honestly, I don't mind that move by Mark either, putting the guy in the short zone, because it looks like that's where he's just going to short pass him a lot,
Right. Well, he's really just been flat passing a lot. So he flat run, bomb. So nice setup there by Michael. 10-7 Rams back on top. Little Flipper Anderson action there as he ran off behind the end zone and up the tunnel. Now we got the opposite. Fly to G.J. Chark guessed wrong, and it's a long gain on 9. So both teams just lured the other one to sleep. And
run keyed, he had a safety up there.
Yeah, even with the safety back, that of course that was still on. It was on Breeze's car, but nice job by both coaches. They both have long gains on 9 too. That's interesting. Ingram in the backfield again. 1st and 10 now at the Rams 42. So Mark says, anything you can do, I can do as well. Down and out to Ingram. Guessed right. defender X or short gain, and that's a 10-yard short gain as there was no defender there. He had brought his linebacker to the line of scrimmage to add a little extra pass rush.
See, when you have a dominant quarterback like Breeze, having a guy like Ingram is such a big deal because you have to double team 5 different guys when they're throwing.
Right. First and 10 at the 32. Sideline right to Cole Beasley. Guessed right. One man there. Picks up a yard. Malcolm Butler makes the play. Second time we've seen that result today. Breeze, 13 of 18 for 113. So the offense is definitely heating up. Fly to DJ Chark. Guessed right. There's a cover by a 6, incomplete on Breeze's card. That was the asterisk pass rusher chance. It was a black die D, but Joey Bosa's asterisk rating against Mark Ingram didn't happen. If it would have been a pass to Ingram, it would have been an auto sack. So 3rd and 9 at the 31. Rams not showing blitz.
How's his pass protection? Is it pretty good?
He's got 5 a 5 at one corner, 6 at the other corner. He's good pass defense. Yeah, he's got the good. He does have a 5-4 here against Bosa, so that's a matchup to watch. 6-12-1 against a 5-4. 0-12-1. He brings Josh Allen on 3rd downs against the 0-5. Square into Anthony Miller. There's nobody there, and it's going to be guessed wrong on the quarterback's card, or nobody in the zone on the defensive card. That's 17 yards and a first down.
That was nice anticipation by Mark there.
It was good call. Caught him.
Maybe he's been doing that a little bit.
Caught him with nobody in the zone. First and 10 at the 14.
Because with a guy like Breeze, when you throw those look-ins on 3rd and long, I mean, you really got to have a feeling because he's so good short. That's usually what you're going to throw.
Right. But then in this league, in this rule set with the white die 6, maybe that's sometimes a little bit more pushing you towards those flats against the 0-4 linebacker. Pitch out right to Ingram, guessed wrong. 6-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 4 inside the 10. Cowboys knocking on the door, looking to retake the lead. Not showing blitz. I don't know if I like that. Well, I got him in a run call. Nobody's in the zone. It's going to pick up 3. That'll bring 3rd and 1. Ingram's got his average up after starting out really slow. He has 8 unfatigued carries left, and we're only 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So he'll need to use some of his other carries from David Johnson or some other source.
Mark's personnel fits his offense it kind of all fits together. I like Ingram, and is that David Johnson? That is David Johnson, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. He double teamed David Johnson, but the pass was to Vernon Davis, and that's a touchdown. He would have had to double team Vernon correctly to stop that one.
Yeah.
So that will be the Cowboys back in front, 14-10. Like I said, every lead change in an elimination game really brings a lot of stress on one end and relief on the other when it happens. So let's see what the Rams can do, how they answer. After a lot of punts in the first half, we've come out with back-to-back touchdown drives in the second half. Flair left to Gaiseki. 6 linebacker there. Guessed right. Picks up 5. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, see, he's got like, what is that? 20, 22 combos or something like that, where he'll catch a pass on a flat.
Yeah, right.
And the D cards, I mean, it's 6s and 5s. I guess, he's probably aiming, he was hoping to get that 4, I see.
Yeah, he used the 4 to double team Perryman and slid that 6 out there.
Yeah.
Screen right to Peterson. Run call. Guessed wrong. You wanted my card, your card, and it's on Patrick Mahomes' card, 13 yards and another first down. 1st and 10 out to the 43. Mahomes completing 11 of 14 so far. Off tackle left to Peterson. Guessed wrong. Nobody in the zone. Picks up 4. He hasn't hit one of those short gains yet, or the bigger numbers on the edge. Benny Snell checks in. 2nd and 6. Still blocking back. Button hook to Snell. Single covered. He's double teaming Gaiseki again. And Snell can't do much with that. It was a 7, so even Guess Strong wasn't doing anything, and he's not a great pass catcher to begin with. The tough part about waiting till 3rd down to throw a short pass is he's probably going to have 4 men in the zone. If you throw a short pass early in the zone, you can get him with 3 men in zone and get those receiver reading helps.
Well, yeah.
Crossing pattern to Ridley, double covered, and here comes the pressure. Corey Peters comes up the middle, beats Brian Allen. Only a 16% chance at the sack, but the random roll was a 10. And that'll be a punt, 66-yarder. And it's into the end zone. Rodgers will let it roll, and the Cowboys take over at their own 20.
What did I miss? A touchdown by Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas, right when they got the ball, went up top. The Rams were keying. That got them 33 yards down the field. And then they just used a combination of running and passing to get it inside the 10. Breeze hit Vernon Davis for a short pass for a touchdown on 3rd and 1 at the 4 or at the 3 or something like that.
Wow.
And that gave them the touchdown. The Rams answered by getting it close to midfield, but then the sack on 3rd down ended their threat. Quick slant to Josh Hill. There's a run call, and it's on the quarterback's card, so it'll be +9. He goes to the full house again.
So how has been Michael defensing the full house?
Well, he's not bringing guys to the line of scrimmage most of the time, only when he calls pass. So he stopped him there with a run call. But as Nathan pointed out, when you're in a 3-4, the free safety is going to move to the zone if it's a flat pass. So you might as well bring one of those inside linebackers to the zone.
Right.
Maybe even both of them.
Or if you want to call pass, double team somebody with one of the linebackers and then spread them out and fill all the rest of the zones.
Inside run to Ingram, 2 men in the zone. Guest wrong for 8.
See, like right there, he moved his safety into that look-in zone. Was that a full house?
Yeah, it was a full house. Yeah, he did have a full house, I think.
So he didn't have to move that free safety up because he would have gone to any zone he threw to.
Right.
Maybe he just isn't sure how that works.
Right. It's a lot. That's a little bit of an intricate rule.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people run it, especially outside of the goal line.
So 1st and 10 out to the 37. Mark's got to be feeling good. He's got the lead. He's got the ball. Quick out left to Vernon Davis. Got some momentum. But there's a negative 4-yard play as he tries to shoot out to Davis, and Nate Gary drives him to the turf, makes him lose 4 yards. Tried to juke him, couldn't do it. 2nd and 14. Ingram in there in a 2 tight end set. Four minutes to go in the third quarter. Slant to Vernon Davis. 3-minute zone, guessed right. And that's a 12-yard pickup. That'll make it 3rd and 2. He hasn't really been free safety blitzing much, which gives Breeze a little more time back there. We saw him run it this last time on 3rd and short. Will he mix it up and throw a flat pass, try to hit somebody on a short pass? Down and out to Ingram like a... Oh, they're at 16 yards. Guessed wrong. Like Nathan was saying, that's such a weapon. If you had him guessed right, that's incomplete. But 3rd and short with Ingram in the backfield, you put the pressure on the defensive coach to make the right call.
Well, you see, he's almost as good on the short as he is on the flat, guessed wrong. And
right.
He avoids all those, what a lot of people like to do, flooding all those zones. I mean, that's just awesome. That's the best part about guys like Mahomes and Breeze.
There's a guessed right run by David Johnson with a man in the zone, and it hits just about the best result you can get with +5. Anywhere in the middle there, you're going to lose yardage or stay the same just about. But Mark now having to think about not running Ingram too much because he's down to 6 unfatigued carries. That's still plenty for this time of the game. Square out right to DJ Chark. He's double teaming Davis. Incomplete. That'll be 3rd and 5 with containment in effect. Let's take a look at Dallas's field goal kicker. They are 2 through 6 out to the 37, 2 through 7 from the 23 to the 32. So Jason Sanders' strength is not the long field goals, at least consistently. 3rd and 5, and he goes 3-4 against the 2 tight end set. What do you think about this, Nathan?
I don't like it.
I think I'd rather go 3-3-5 and be able to double team 2 guys, or
call a run if you want. And he's nickelback. It's probably better than a 0. I mean,
Right. But he has been reading Mark pretty well. Pitch out right to Ingram. Does not call. It's called run. And it's going to be a short gainer on Ingram's card. But containment stops the run as Samson Abucom and his 4 against the run rating makes the block, makes the stop. And here comes Sanders for a long field goal. 2 through 7. He got a 7. So it's up and good. Adjusted by -1. And the Rams take a 7-point lead. They extend their lead to 7.
When you stay in that 3-4, they know who has to be where for containment to stay in effect.
Right.
Whereas that middle linebacker can just sit there by himself and contain, and your nickelback could be anywhere. So if they wanted to throw to that 0 linebacker out there, it'd be easy. Or if they were worried that there'd be someone there, that it'd be at the expense of off tackle right not being contained.
So Michael looks to mix it up, comes out in a 3 wide with Damian Williams. Quick out right to Gaiseki. Loses a yard. Yeah, I mean, you're focusing on the wrong columns for Mahomes. You've got to be focusing short and deep. Too much flat passing.
A lot. If you got a running backs that can catch at all, you give him a 3 receiver, 1 halfback, and between your halfback and the 2 receivers on the left side, he's going to have 1 guy he can double with. if you're throwing all of them.
Yeah, Mark's extra DB is a 5, but still curled the Perryman being correctly double covered. And here comes Preston Smith. The linebacker said, hello, wraps up Mahomes and sets up a 3rd and 14.
Well, his extra DB's a 5, but he's covering. What are his linebackers? Are they a 4 and a
1 4, 1 6, and 1 5. The 2 coverage ones are a 4 and a 5. Of course, the coverage one he had sent on a blitz that time, the 4, Preston Smith.
You'd be trading a 5 for a 5. Like right here, this is a good formation for not getting doubled.
Who would you throw to?
Anyway.
Who would you throw to right now, Nathan?
Williams.
Yep, you can get that defender X.
Williams or Gage.
He goes to a flat pass to Williams, and that doesn't go anywhere. Too much flat passing.
Yeah, jeez.
4th and 14. He did catch him there one time moving his outside linebacker, but Marks kept him home after that. We're into the 4th quarter now.
Well, with 14 yards, even in an open zone, you might not get the whole 14.
There's a time
Right.
you don't get it. You know, the guy could have no one there. Even if you double teamed like 3 guys, you got a really low chance. Like a 30 in a long game, and I don't know, a short game, I guess, could get it.
Isn't there a plus 16 or a plus 20?
There's a
Something
plus
like
30 and there's a long game, or 23 and a 30, I think, down at the bottom. So that's 3 combos, and a long game at the top. So that's 4 combos. And then if you roll the 7, you can get a short gain. And
Yeah, 23 is on the stock card. It's 20 on 10 in these draft league cards. 20, you're right. But you're right. It's not a
3,
huge.
4, 5. So 5 combos outside the short game, which is he's not going to hit all of them, but most of them he would.
He keyed Ingram on that one, but didn't stuff the zone. So it was up to Eddie Goldman to make the play, and he did.
When it's 3rd and 14, it's not like you got a lot of options anyway. So it's kind of nitpicking, I guess, to say how many chances he had.
Right.
But, you know, you do have a 14-yarder right there on Mahomes' short pass.
Indeed. Inside run to Ingram. There's a man there. It's going to stuff it for a 1-yard gain. And containment's in effect. The Cowboys are in Ram territory. David Mayo is a 0-6, so he's 6 against the run. Oh, but that was Justin Pugh. It was the right guard that had the challenge on that one. And again, I don't like this. 3-4 on 3rd and 5, and you're letting him really throw it without any double teams on a flat pass. Down and out to Ingram. 4 men in the zone, guessed right.
And that's a guaranteed no double team right there, because you cannot double him out of that formation.
Right.
Not only that, but like if he decides to try and double, he's going to do it possibly with the guy covering Ingram.
And Breeze is having a nice time. 20-27 for 180 after that slow start.
Michael's going to have to get aggressive at this stage, I think, defensively.
Well, he goes with a run call, trying to catch Ingram. And instead it was a short pass to Breeze, 16 yards, and the Cowboys are rolling. Off tackle left to Ingram, called correctly. Drop for 0. 2nd and 10. Really needs a turnover. If there was ever time for Joey Bosa to make his presence felt with a strip sack or something, this is the time. Inside run to Ingram. Guessed wrong, but he stuffed the zone. That's going to lose a yard. Ingram's had a tough time running the ball, but he's been effective as a receiver and as a decoy to get.
We had him keying it on that bomb play.
Yeah, to get Michael off the correct call. Now he's showing blitz. 3-3-5 showing blitz.
And I like this because it is a little harder to throw to that running back when he's showing blitz, in case he does bring it.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to throw flat here, though. Just Mark playing it safe. No, he goes for the curl. Complete. He didn't bring the blitz. He showed the blitz, didn't bring the blitz, but it would have been tough to make it because the challenge was nose tackle against center, and Alex Max is 7, and Goldman's reduced from a 5-1 to a 5-0.
I like it, though, because they're a little less likely to throw to that running back because he's the only guy blocking that blitzer. The safety brings it. So that's one less guy that you have to worry about as much, you know?
Right. True. Inside run to Ingram. There's a run call. The center makes the block. Alex Max a 5, boosted up to a 6 thanks to the formation. And just like that, I mean, slowly but surely, they creep up on you, these Cowboys. And now, instead of trailing after that bomb by Mahomes, they're in front by 2 touchdowns. It's been all Cowboys. Let's look at the ball position real quick.
I kind of have a feeling that Michael is going to come out and start throwing short and long a little more here now that he's down a couple.
So after those first 4 possessions by the Cowboys went punt, he's gotten touchdown, field goal, touchdown. He goes to a different formation, 2 tight end formation. Damian Williams in the backfield. Williams does have that plus 84 on Snake Eyes. On an end run, plus 91 on Snake Eyes off tackle, and a long gain on a linebacker. Maybe he's looking to head an edge. Button hook to Williams, again on the flat pass card, which is Mahomes' worst column. Did I mention that earlier? Okay, maybe I did.
I was thinking, I'm glad he's got Williams in there. I think he might start throwing some short passes, but he's the only one that has any receiving options on that card. Plus, like you said, he's got the big gains on the run. If he actually can, when he hits one of them, it's a touchdown. Doesn't happen all the time unless you're Derrick Henry in the game I played in earlier, but then it happens back to back.
But you need some kind of magic at this point. Crossing pattern to Gage, and there's that pick on the D card. That's what Michael's worried about.
Yeah.
He tried to stay away from it with a lot of flat passes.
That's what I was avoiding, you idiots.
Yeah, he says, I'll show you guys. You want me to throw short? There, you see? You see? Ya ves? So that's the Cowboys firmly in control here. Up 2 touchdowns, ball in scoring position, 9:36 to go. Ingram's low on carries, but Mark doesn't care at this point. He just doesn't want him to fumble. Picks up 3 yards there. Short pass to Davis, guessed wrong. 4 men in the zone, though, thanks to the formation, and that's incomplete. Had a lot of good stuff to shoot at on the D cards.
I traded in Bruno Davis.
Oh, nice. That was that Marquise Valdez-Scantling trade, right?
Yeah, gave him some picks, too.
3-3-5 showing blitz. Is he actually going to bring the blitz this time? If you ever needed a sack fumble, this is it. Doesn't bring the blitz. Sideline right to Anthony Miller. He's going to lose 4 yards, though. That'll take it back to maybe he is in that missed field goal kind of range. 2 through 7 here, guys. Then they got a miss on an 8. So they needed that. 7:48 to go. Still time. You're going to get the ball twice. You just got to score touchdowns on both of them. So they avoided giving up points after that turnover. Now they need to throw caution to the wind a little bit and see if you can get some Mahomes connections. It's
Well,
too
you
bad.
have You have a thesaurus of cliches, Dennis. I'm impressed.
Well, I don't think you use a thesaurus for cliches, but I get what you're saying.
Discretion to the wind.
It's definitely a plethora of expressions or sayings.
Yeah.
Dichos, they call them in Spanish. Incomplete on a long pass. No high linebacker, so no pass rush chance. So Mark will see that and think, hey, man, I got to bring some pass rushers. Yeah, he needs to land on 8 on a deep pass or.
That long pass right is about as good as the short pass 4-minute zone defensive card
Yeah, it's
as far
you're
as
not
chances of hitting.
right because you have all those receiver readings, and receivers, guessed right, have a lot of misses.
It's like 9 of them in the 4-minute zone, and just that it depends on the defender, I guess.
12 of 21. Mahomes struggling a little bit.
Four down territory, guys. What do you think?
He goes to Gage, double covered by a linebacker, and it's picked off on Mahomes' card. So Mark has just turned it around completely. And he's out rolling, out coaching, out calling the Rams right now. And this will be a good learning experience for Michael. It's tough though when you're facing a better set of cards. It's really difficult to pull out the victory. It can be done, but it's not that easy.
Really have to roll on your card on the right. Like when he's trying to throw flat, he really wants a D card. When he's trying to throw a card, he really wants his card. And it's been working out the other way around.
Yeah, at least in the second half. It was working that way. It was working well in the first half, but this so far just hasn't happened. Quick slant to Davis. Guessed wrong, 8 yards, first down. Into Rams territory. They didn't get past midfield on their first 4 possessions. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 5 and out, or something like that. But they've got it figured out, and they know exactly what to do to keep this ball moving, keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving. (24-10) Dallas. Off tackle left to David Johnson. He's going to lose a yard, but Mark doesn't really care about that right now. He just wants to use up the clock, punch it down, and give it back to the Rams with under 4 minutes to go, and them needing 2 scores, 2 touchdowns, not just 2 scores. Off tackle right, and he calls pass and doesn't stuff the zone. And that's going to be a 7-yard pickup, 4th and 3. And that's going to bring on the puncher. Mark tries to pin him inside the 10, and he does at the 5. So 3:36 to go. You're down 14 points. You need 2 touchdowns. And you need to avoid turning it over, of course.
He needs a 91-yard line buck from Williams.
Exactly. Let's get it going. Roll that snake eyes. Screen left to Williams. There's a 6 there. Incomplete. So he's got that New England linebacker. That's like a 5'6" inside, 5'5" inside, 6'5" outside, I think. Oh no, he just slid him out. Donta Hightower is a 6'5" inside linebacker and a 5'5" outside linebacker. So he leaves him in the middle, and then he'll slide him out to either flat and double with the linebackers. That's an incomplete pass. As Mahomes' stats now stand at 50% completed. 3rd and 10. Oh, man. What was Williams? I think his big numbers are all on snake eyes. What does he have on 12? Yeah, nothing exciting on 12. 3-2-6 defense now. See if he brings those outside linebackers and try to get a safety to end this.
Chuck a bomb. Double teams 2 guys. Oh, he's going to
Fly. 2-minute zone. Incomplete. 4th and 10. Got to go for it. So 2 teams that were 13-3. Michael started off the season 12-0. Then you had to go and beat him, Nathan, and destroy his confidence. Send him into a tailspin. He lost another game and lost the 3rd game.
Better to lose games that you're not rolling well in the regular season than the playoffs. That's what I told him.
That's true. That's true. So he lost 3 out of 4 in the last quarter. Incomplete. And that's the ball game, folks. Dallas with an impressive win here.
If Breeze retires, maybe I'll have to trade Mark Tom Brady.
That's what he needs to take out Breeze. There's a touchdown. It doesn't look like Brady's retiring anytime soon.
That's what I'm saying. Because he'll have Breeze for one more card, and then.
Oh, you mean trade Mark Breeze? I got you. Trade Brady. That could work. I'm sure he's on the lookout. Yeah, it certainly looks like Breeze is retiring and Brady is not. And a sack as DeMarcus Lawrence gets his 2nd sack of the day. Well, I think as a newish coach, I mean, Michael's not really new anymore, but maybe new to playing in such a important game in a league that he really wants to win. That can really make it difficult. There's an 18-yard run by Adrian Peterson. When things start going against you, facing a good coach with excellent pass defense cards and good run defense cards and all those 5s and 6s, it was always going to be difficult to move the ball. 3rd and 4. Screen left to Peterson, gets 10, gets out of bounds. You see Mark playing a little bit more fast and loose on defense, bringing his guys to add to the pass rush. Makes it a little bit easier to move the ball when there's nobody in the zone. 1:45 to go. 4 wide formation now for the Rams. Picks up a yard on a flat pass. Crossing pattern to Zay Jones. Barely misses another interception on the D card.
Yeah, he just keeps hitting. He keeps hitting that D card on the short pass, and he keeps hitting Mahomes' card on the flat pass. Like most of what I've seen second half.
Yeah,
it's like the worst scenario on each throw. Although Mahomes, it's not like Mahomes' flat's bad. It's just definitely not as, not his best.
Not the strength of that card. So this sets up a Final Four of the Cowboys against the Seahawks in the NFC. I'll put it over here. And incomplete on that one. The Cowboys will take over and go for the knee. So the Rams, the 13-3 Rams fall to the 13-3 Cowboys. The Rams scored 481 points on the year, and they were limited to 10 today. Mahomes had several interceptions. Was it 2 or 3? Looks like he threw 2 interceptions after throwing 4 all regular season. Breeze had a strong game, 24-32, completing 75% of his passes. You get that in a playoff game, that's money in the bank. And over 200 yards. Peterson did okay, but not enough to really scare Mark, aside from that one run call where he beat him over the top. And then in the AFC, that's the NFC matchup, Rams against the Seahawks. I mean, Cowboys against the Seahawks. In the AFC, it's going to be your Eagles, right, Dave?
Yeah, it looked like I slipped in there, getting dicing the hell out of Nathan.
So it's going to be Eagles against the Patriots. So we got 2 really good teams over there too. Let's look at the cards real quick. The Patriots are excellent against the run, good against the pass. Dave, what are your Eagles? Looks like you're average against the run, good against the pass.
The average good.
So we got an average good against the excellent good. And then over in the NFC, we have good excellent against good average. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the 2 teams with the average defensive cards, mine on the pass and yours on the run, to advance. Looks like the coaches are exchanging pleasantries. I know Michael said he was going to come on here, so let's see if we can get him to jump in after he finishes talking. So what do you think about the Final Four, Nathan, since you're the only one here without a dog in the fight? How do you see it playing out?
Oh, thanks for pointing that out, Dennis. Well, I see 3 really good flat pass quarterbacks. And then Russell Wilson, I assume, is not as good this year, is he?
No, he's about the same as Mahomes, I think, or worse.
But he probably has some less runs on there.
Yeah, on the short and long pass guards, not on the flat. I guess the flat is probably pretty much similar. Let me see. Let's look at the player ratings here. Yeah, so Mahomes, he's got that 630. Wilson, where's Wilson? So yeah, Russ is a little bit better than Mahomes on the flat.
What formation do you run mostly? 2 tight end?
I mix it up, 2 tight end blocking back. So, but yeah, Mark says he's going back to the Hawks nest. I beat Mark in the regular season, but that was like one of those fluke games. If you look at he had like I got up 27-0 by halftime, and then I just held on. But I hit I don't know, he fumbled the ball and a sack fumble and gave me a short field. Just one of those.
I like all of these offenses quite a bit. So, I mean, you've got Mostert that can catch, and if you run that 2 time with Mostert, there isn't a guy you can't throw to.
Yeah,
big deal when he's double teaming a lot. The only thing that you may have an issue with there is if he starts doubling your tight ends with those inside linebackers and then doubling.
Which he will. Yeah, he will. He'll do that.
So,
I've seen that before. Yeah, I don't really have great pass blocking or run blocking. So the yards have to come off the halfbacks cards.
Well, Lindsey's got kind of an underrated card, doesn't he?
I like his card. Yeah, it's not good guessed right, but
I think it is good guessed right, isn't it?
Not as good as like Pat. He's got the zeros and +1s in the middle. He does hit some on the bottom. He did the short game guessed right on 3. But
he at least gets you yards. I guess maybe when you say get it good, it's not like Miles Sanders or something where you're getting 3, 4, 5. but you
Right.
get a lot of combos of at least a yard, which is really nice in short yardage.
Yeah. Hey, Michael.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Sorry that you had to go out like that. I know you wanted to at least make it a close game, and you were calling great in the first half, really stopping his offense. But
Yeah,
the second half, he just seemed to do whatever he wanted to.
yeah. The Chark pass killed me. It's not just one play. I mean, but that's a team that when they get ahead, it's rough. And he was calling some very, very good double teams. And it's one of the things about this team. I made some moves at the beginning of the off season to well, I needed a free safety, and I actually made a trade with Dallas for a corner, so that helped fix everything as far as fives were concerned. Poyer, I made a trade for him for a second-round pick, so that solidified the back end. And with that, I was able to get, a very good pass defense. But as far as offense is concerned, my wide receivers aren't very good. Beyond Ridley, if you look, like Gesicki, and it's nice to have Perriman who can go deep, but if you need like a 3rd and 10, there's really only one option that I have that you can consistently count on, and that's Ridley. And now that I look back at it, I probably should have made some more trades, maybe to solidify some extra wide receivers, because the targets that I had, they're just not going to catch the ball on a guessed right 3rd and 10 more often than not. And, again, those calls have to come on my quarterback card, and I didn't get a lot of those either. But this had nothing to do with roles. I was schooled tonight. So.
Well, did you? We were talking about it during the game. Did you make it a point to emphasize the flat passes more because you were trying to avoid the turnovers? Because it sure seemed like you stayed away from the short and long pass, and then when you finally went to it, like right away, boom, you were like a magnet right on the 9 on the short pass interception card.
Yeah. This is like the first playoff game that I've had in this, and sometimes I don't want to say coach scared. That's ridiculous. It's just a board game. Who cares, right? But you are just so cautious to not make a mistake. And so I'm just going to basically, here's an example. Like Benny Snell for me this year probably had about 20 carries. But over the week, I noticed that he had a really nice off tackle card. And I figured, he has good pass rush linebackers from the left and the right. So I figured, you know what? Let's see if we can put him in there and, pick up some carries and maybe pick up some scrub yards that I could just drive and kind of take time off the clock. And for a little while it did, but after a while it just catches up with you. And then you find yourself in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 and 10, and I just was not able to convert pretty much for the entire evening. So
Yeah, his pass rush did you in at times too. You did hit that one short gain to Snell early in the first half, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you maybe went away from what your strength was and what you did in the regular season, more worried about what his team could do to stop you.
I did. It was really ultra conservative.
But we all go through this. If this, like you said, this is your first playoff game in a league you really want to win, or you really want to at least get to the semifinals. It's tough, and you do. I wouldn't say you're right. It's not coaching scared, but you get a little tentative, or you try to avoid the turnover, and then you wind up going away from the strength of your team, which is Pat Mahomes down the field.
Yeah, like I was in your all's inaugural Strat 28s, and I had, and I went for it, basically. I took Locke and was just getting a whole bunch of players that didn't have a lot of upside on down the line, but I just basically picked, even if they were close to retirement, 5s, 6s, everywhere, I wanted to go for it for that year, and that's the only first-round playoff game that I've won, minus the SFFDL. And I could just remember in that, I just turned it loose and didn't care. And it's like, you know what, we're going to play, like you said, to the strengths of what my team is about. I'm going to see if Andrew Luck can ride this thing out. And today, I don't know. This wasn't. Now, defensively, I was happy because I thought I had his number in the first half. I was real pleased with
great.
him. And that pass to Chark, let's be honest here, I see his tendencies. He doesn't throw long. And so if you get burnt on that, hey, that's fine. I think you're still making the right call. But I was not aggressive at all with the pass rush like I thought I was going to be. And after a while, you just get scared. You see Breeze's card, and you think he's going to dink and dunk you to death. And I don't know. I just after I went down 14-10 and wasn't able to get a first down on that next drive, I unraveled. I just was losing my marbles, or 17-10 when I was down then. I just started losing my head, I guess.
To be fair, I think it's a lot easier to be aggressive against Mahomes than it is against Breeze on the pass rush stuff, because
Right.
Breeze is lethal on the flats and the short.
Right.
But Mahomes, that is his one weakness is the flats.
The flat
So
pass.
if you don't have like a really explosive running back, it's hard to make people pay.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have a really good receiving running back, which you didn't have anyone I don't think could catch short at all except for Williams.
Yeah, and I was scared out of my mind to throw anything to him because I was.
Oh yeah. Well, the receiver you'd be throwing to him just to be avoiding double teams and getting, but you need to be rolling on Mahomes' card, which you weren't on the short passes. I was telling them I wished you were throwing it more short, but then, to be honest, you were rolling Mahomes' card on the flats and you were rolling the D card on the shorts. It was like the worst.
Yeah.
Scenario.
Yeah.
Well, that bomb touchdown, that was the first bomb you threw, wasn't it, Michael?
Well, and that's just one of those things. It's like that was a concentrated effort. Basically, I'm just going to slam it up the middle. I'm going to run around the end until this guy finally does what I want, and that's the call run. And I think there was a couple of times where I could have had him that he called run on plays where I was very close to throwing it deep, but I didn't. And by the time I did, I was rewarded for it. But I don't know. I just that's hard to say. It's frustrating because this is not the team that I played with for this entire year, but. Looking back, first of all, 12 wins in a row. I'm real happy with that. I'm really
Absolutely.
You also scored 30 points a game. I mean, that's awesome.
Right, and I hate the fact that down the stretch that when I lost to Houston like I did and got pounded, that's just one of those games that things aren't going right, and then you're calling stupidly, and now the game's like totally getting out of hand. I lost 2 games by 1 point in that fourth quarter. On a 2-point conversion, and I missed an extra point on the last play of the game. So, I mean, this team very easily could have been 13, 14, 15. And while I'm not happy that I'm not getting to the Final Four, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done with this team. But you think, man, you got Mahomes for the next several years, you should be fine. So I'm not going to be a drafter anymore. I'm just going to start looking for talent. Now that you've got these late draft picks in the first round, it's like, now, man, you can't be waiting around for something to fall into your lap. You got to start being aggressive and fill the holes on your team. You've got
Michael's a buyer, it sounds like.
Well, we talked a lot about how you got Mahomes, how you traded up just to get Mahomes, which was a great move.
That's Tom Cook. I'm embarrassed to say this story, but we had a nice little long chat, me and Tom, and if he had the ability, he would have murdered me had I taken the person I was thinking about taking. I won't say. But he would basically.
Was it Trubisky?
Huh?
Was
it?
It
was.
Well, yes.
And I'll tell you why. Because when you have Castle in your first year, you're an expansion club and you're terrible, and now you got Bryce Petty, who I think threw 30 interceptions for me in my second year. I mean, it's maddening to play 2 years that are just terrible. And Mitch has got this upside, and finally I'm going to have a card that can throw. And I mean, he literally would have murdered me had I done that.
Well, the NFL thought he was better, and he didn't do horribly as a rookie.
Yeah.
And Mahomes hadn't played, so I mean, I could understand in a fall league why you might want to do that.
Well, Tom and I have a love-hate relationship. It's more hate. It's love like a brother, but he hates everything I do draft-wise. And I mean, I remember we had an SSFA draft a few years ago, and he spent the first 20 minutes of a draft recap show wailing on me for taking Dak Prescott over Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, yeah. I remember that.
I love that.
I thought I might have been on that show. I might have been bad-mouthing you too.
Well,
actually, the Shaq Barrett one, I was like, I thought you were out of your damn mind when you traded
so
that.
I doubled down.
And he was all over you on that one.
Yeah. I doubled down on his angst by taking Shaq Barrett. And I don't know if it was you, but somebody actually emailed me after Barrett got his 3rd sack that first game in the regular season. And I think people have the same angst against Tom too. And it's like, oh yeah, but you showed him. Well, it's like, I didn't take the guy to show Tom up. I just got.
I was as surprised and outspoken in that show that you had traded. In fact, I even went and traded Shaq Barrett for something similar that you gave up to someone else in another league and was like all thrilled about it. And now I'm like, oh man, I could have had Shaq Barrett. So, when people are giving you a hard time, you've got a pretty good record in your most of your trades.
Yeah,
and draft picks.
Well, in the Samifa draft, I was really happy when I got a chance to talk to you guys because you guys have been doing this for years. I've just been doing this for a few. I mean, I'm paying more and more attention, watching more videos, doing a little bit more reading up and stuff like that. So I think the Samifa draft was pretty good. It's going to take a while to rebuild that team. But I mean, who knows any of this stuff? To be honest with you, I mean, we could say that, oh, you got a window here of like 8-10 years for Mahomes, and he looks like a sure thing, but we don't know. Nobody knows about this stuff. The point is, I'm just glad to get in the postseason. Anybody who gets here has a chance. I mean, you look over on the other bracket, you've got a 5 seed that basically has a chance to get into the title game. That guy up there in the top right-hand corner who didn't bring his clone today. That's it, man.
He's got himself on mute. But no, you're right. Just get to.
5 seed anyway.
He said, "Who's that 5 seed?"
Who is that? Who is that masked man?
Who is that old guy?
That's right.
But yeah, you just want to get to the playoffs, and then anything can happen. Just like Nathan took a Case Keenum-led team to the Super Bowl
Exactly right.
3 years ago in autumn wind or something like that. I'm sure you didn't expect that team to go to the Super Bowl.
That was like an average 4 average team.
It's crazy.
I've lost like every playoff game on a win trend, I think, or something close to it.
Well, again, if you're gonna lose in a game like that where you're playing against a very good, excellent, and a guy who's played in 4 championship games in the last 5-6 years, because he texted me, he slacked me before the game and said this is his last year, because he knows that Breeze is 112 years old and his team is aging, and this is going to be basically a rebuild year for him. So this is big for him to get into the Final Four. So I'm excited for him. I'm disappointed. Of course, I'm disappointed.
Well, Michael, I've lost plenty of games to Mark. He beat me in the Super Bowl, so I understand that. So you this early in your career, being this high, you really have done great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love this league. Everybody that's in it. It's a great.
And
league. I have so much fun with it. And if there's a bright side, I get a chance to broadcast 3 games, so that's fun.
Well, what you need is you've got a great team. You need a veteran quarterback like Tom Brady. So I'll trade him to you. We'll get some more top of Mahomes, and then you can make your run.
If you threw in Shaq Barrett, I'd think about it.
I'll get Shaq Barrett. The rest of my team I'll trade for Shaq Barrett.
Nathan, do you know that Brady didn't complete a pass for you in the second half?
Yeah.
That wasn't great calling by me. I was hitting every space on his card.
It was really weird. I mean, there was a lot of guessed wrong throws that didn't get completed. That was very frustrating.
He hit every space on his guessed wrong card.
I think I wouldn't have been as frustrated, except for, like, usually if you're throwing a lot, you get a lot more of the guessed right hits, but when you're not throwing a lot and you get it guessed wrong and you're thinking you're going to get it guessed wrong, and then it's like blank, 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 then you're yelling blankety blank,
Hey Dennis, I have a question.
I heard you through the cyberspace.
Yeah.
When I was playing, I don't pull open that window with the pass rush chart or anything. Did I have like any shot at any heat on the quarterback at all? Was there any split that was close that you saw?
No, not that I remember. You had a couple of low chance ones, but you really needed to bring that free safety blitz and actually commit to it. And I never saw you do that. I saw you show blitz a couple times, but I never saw you actually bring the guys. Yeah. And that was one of the things that, I mean, like Nathan said, Breeze is deadly flat. So if you would have done that, he could have, killed you, nickel and dimed you down the field. But I would have liked to have seen at least like one of those free safety blitz sack chances with, with him throwing short or deep. But he, And
to follow up on that point, Dennis, Michael, when you have a game plan where maybe the blitz is not as big part of it, but what Dennis is saying, just like with the bomb in the passing game, you show it to the guy so he knows that you're liable to do it, and then go back to your game plan. If you don't show enough of it, they kind of sense your game plan. That's one thing, and that's one thing Nathan he'll always show you the bomb. I mean, he's ready to fire that ball, so you don't know when. So same with Dennis. I mean, you don't know when Dennis is going to let loose with one, and that's a real difficult thing. So with Mahomes, and think about this too, just the reputation of Mahomes is going to carry you a long way now, because people are going to expect that bomb, and when you throw it in there, then you can relax into other modes, because they're going to be aware of Mahomes the rest of your career here.
But you were very unlucky not to hit, like you had him guessed wrong with you running the ball, and you would not hit like the plus 30 or the short gain on Peterson's card. That you just hit like 5, 6, which is fine. You had a chance to move the chains, but you weren't getting any chunk plays, and that made it very difficult to sustain any drives against a good, excellent defense.
It's really hard. It's really hard with the running game. I mean, it's a lot easier to miss, even with great running backs. It's a lot easier to miss guessed wrong, especially since the D chart is just the D chart. There's no factoring in that they guessed it wrong. In fact, the D chart, you can look better guessed wrong because you're blitzing linebackers a lot of the time, and that doesn't happen the other way around when you're throwing the ball. If you're throwing the ball guessed wrong, you get all as receiver, and they come up and they make there should be like a running card reference or something on the D chart to make it a little more.
Well, Michael, one thing you respect the history of the league, and Nathan certainly knows that we used to create our own charts. So we had a running chart that had a guess right and a guess wrong.
Yeah.
Matt doesn't have that. Well, we designed our own game that you never played it, did you, Dennis?
No, I never played the board game with you guys.
I mean, this was developed over 20 years, and it was so sophisticated because we went these knockdown, drag out rules meetings every year. I'd rent out a hotel, and we'd have a hotel room, and we'd have everybody come, and we'd spend a whole day working on these rules. But we really had the most sophisticated variants of the Stratomatic game, and that was the one thing, Nathan, that we focused on. Is we just felt there had to be something different on the defensive chart when you guess right.
Well, not only that, but in that league, you had to guess when you guessed pass, you had to guess 2 zones of the 3. Otherwise, you guessed wrong. So it was definitely more interesting. I liked that.
Thank you. I came up with that concept. I proposed that.
That was good.
2 of the 3.
Yeah.
All 3.
What I was going to tell you though, Michael, when you're talking about what your matchups were and all that if I want to make pass rushing a big part of my game plan, like especially in a playoff game, I don't usually sit down and break down a lot of things throughout the year. I just kind of play it. But unless maybe it's a real crucial game for seeding or something, I might do it. But in the playoff, if you're thinking you want to blitz them a lot, just sit down and it's pretty easy to do the quick math and figure out what your percentage of pass rush will be. Using you got to make sure you use obviously the blitzing, the safety blitzing pass rush chart if that's what you're going to do.
Right.
But I always check it not just for what are my chances when I bring the safety. I want to know for each like 1 linebacker, 2 linebacker, 3 linebacker, 4, because at a certain point, once you get to like your 3rd linebacker, it may not even be that much of a difference. It may literally be nothing, depending on your matchups. And so you're way better in those situations. You have 2 zones covered and you blitz the rest of the guys, and that's optimal. You want to know your optimal, situations, or maybe you want to double with those linebackers if you just don't think they're going to throw flat, and then still play. But you figure that all out ahead of time, and don't worry about when you missed or when you hit. It's a lot like poker. If you played poker, you just want to make the right decisions, obviously, and the rest is going to work itself out. Which you probably already know, but sure. There's no sense agonizing over missing by 2% or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna. It's a simulation football game that uses dice and cards, and you have dice. Strange things will happen at times, but like Nathan said, you just want to give yourself the best chance at success. And this is a great learning experience. Live and learn. There's going to be teams in these double counting leagues that are going to be stacked. Facing the excellent run defense or excellent pass defense makes it a lot tougher. So you just, maybe you wait for those opportunities where you're one of the teams with an excellent pass defense. Otherwise, you just, like, if you would have traded for those receivers, like you were saying, that wouldn't have made a difference in this game because you never really had a chance. You were rolling on his card too much. Right. So, get into the playoffs, see what happens. And when you have the opportunity with an excellent pass defense, load up. If you can get excellent, load up. Make that trade to get that 5 or 6 cornerback or strong safety or something like that to push you over the edge.
Well, I think my homework that I'm going to pull away from this, to be honest, like I said, I've been playing for like 4 or 5 years. I need to watch more videos on the pass rush. I'm still very sketchy on it, still not quite sure of the rules. Like even the other day, we were playing. This game is complicated. I'm not a dummy, but but this game is quite complicated. You got to play for years until you can get all the nuances of this game. And even the other day, I didn't know that if you had 2 linebackers blitzing with, if you had basically 5 guys on the line,
That's right.
would be right on the passer's card. I thought just by default when you have an empty zone that it's guessed wrong on everybody's card. I didn't know. There's just, like I said, these rules are encyclopedic. You keep playing, you're going to figure out more of them. But the blitzes is just the nuances of it. I don't have it yet. I just need to watch.
You think about that where you're guessed right blitzing those guys, even if they throw to that zone. That means half the time it didn't matter if they were there or not. And then on top of that, if they're not a 6, a third of the rest of the time, it doesn't matter if they were there or not because of the 6 linebacker.
Exactly.
And if they're zeros and they're throwing short, they don't matter if they stay put either. There's all kinds of situations where, Strat's telling you, bring this guy.
Right. Like in the 3-3-5, I've got 2 12s on both sides, 2 asterisk pass rushers this year. And I think Bosa wound up with 5 sacks and Allen wound up with 4. Well, it's because I'm basically just making them do the work and I'm not bringing anybody else that's going to enhance their pass rush against anybody. That's obvious. I have never in any league, I think the only time that I ever finished like really well with a team in pass rush was a throwback league that we had a few years ago because I took the Minnesota Vikings D line and they had like almost all asterisk pass rushes on there. So I didn't have to bring anybody. They had 4 super great guys that could rush the quarterback every single time. That's just the nuance I've not picked up on yet. But that's why, you know what, if you're not going to know the rules, if you're not going to figure out, why even bother to take Allen if you don't know how to use your team to maximize his ability? I should have taken Metcalf, or I should have taken Sanders, if that's the case. If I don't know how to play with these guys once I put them on the line, what's the point? So I need to learn more about pass rushing.
Don't forget about the size of the league either. When you're calling my game, you're talking about how many sacks I had, and I don't even look at this as a pass rushing team. It's because it really isn't. But I brought it against the right teams because there's a lot more weaknesses in this type of a league than you're going to see. Same with S28. The one I did just win, I had 16 sacks from both of my outside linebackers. And that's just, I had a 0 at corner and a 4 at corner and a 4 at safety.
Yeah.
But I was bringing it. You can do it. You can get away with it, and you're going to, I also had an offense to keep up with that, but there are ways to do it, just check it out. If the other team looks pretty weak against the pass block, they may not even expect you to blitz. You bring it, and you got a good matchup with bringing that many guys.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all about we'll do a pass rush clinic and we'll record it so that we can show it to the league. And
I don't know if I like that.
we'll get Nathan on there. Give us all his strategies. I'll give you all mine.
Oh no.
No, I don't. But I'll show you how a very simple way. Just bring up this pass rush chart, run some games and see what happens.
Of course. Appreciate it.
It also helps. It helps against the run. No one wants to call run. Like I think maybe the average is like 20 to 25% that people call run. Mm-hmm. If you look through the Stratomatic reports, I think that's if I ever look at them, that's what I see it at. And you blitz those zones unless they're running draws, which people don't want to run draws either. You're getting better defensive results, and they can't run and draw. So their best running zone a lot of the time is the one they're just going to get destroyed on a D card.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So like I said, there's still a lot to be learned, but I think for somebody who's still a novice, like I said, to finish 13-3, maybe it was the cards, maybe it was Mahomes makes up for a lot of bad coaching. So I'm happy to have my 13-3, and this will be a lesson. We'll pick it up next year. I think, again, having him on the team gives you an automatic chance to at least finish with 10 or 11 wins if you play it right. But over time, if I can figure out how to evolve on defense beyond the cards, basically, just having a very good run and a pass defense didn't do much for me tonight. There's still other nuances that you can do that you've got to stop other experienced coaches with. I'm still learning them. So,
well, you led the league in scoring, so something about what you're doing, obviously.
Yeah, and there'll be games like this where it just so happened to be in a playoff game where there's just not much that you could have done. So onward and upward. You'll get it figured out. Don't worry. I can't wait to celebrate your first championship with you.
I am. This was fun. This was really. I was looking forward to this thing for the whole week. But that's okay. Now, I mean, like I said, I'm in it. We got one down. We'll just come back next year, and now we get to call a few playoff games, which is I had fun with that too. So it was win-win.
Excellent. Well, thanks guys for joining me on the broadcast, and Michael for joining us on the post-game chat. I'm going to shut it down now. Good luck to the remaining playoff teams, and I can't wait to hear your calls on those last games. That'd be fun.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Dennis. It's good to see you, Nathan. Thanks, buddy. Y'all take care.
You guys.
See you
Take
guys.
care.